Hello students, today we are going to start a very interesting unit and from which we will start a new chapter, that is chapter number 1, Living World. So in this chapter we will discuss about living world, and first of all today we are going to discuss about what is a living, how you can differentiate between living and non-living first. Okay, so this chapter is very interesting, but it is memory based. Okay, so you have to remember too many things in this chapter, so be ready for that also. Okay, so let us start what is living. Before we start the chapter, let us discuss about some analysis, that is a topic-wide analysis of last 10 years, that is from 2009 to 2019 for a next examination. So let me see. In this chapter, we will learn about two topics, that is a diversity in living world and second is the taxonomic categories. Okay, so you can see here this is graph. Okay, so in this graph you can see this first topic, out of this first topic, that is a diversity in living world, 22 questions were asked in last 10 years. Okay, and from this topic, this is a taxonomic categories topic. Okay, from this topic, total number of questions which is asked is 30. Okay, so you can get the idea which topic is most important in this chapter. First of all, let me try to answer what is a life. Okay, so we are very curious to know what is a life. Okay, how we can differentiate between life and non-living things, living and non-living things. So life is a unique, this is the definition, you must be right like this. Okay, so life is a unique complex organization of molecules, okay, which is expressing through chemical reactions which lead to growth. Okay, you must be remember this definition. This reaction will lead to the growth, development, responsiveness, adaptation and reproduction. So this is the whole definition of a life. So let me repeat. This is the definition. You must be right like this. Okay, so you must be remember like this. So what is the definition of a life? So life is a unique complex organization of molecules, okay, which is expressing through chemical reactions which lead to growth, development, responsiveness, adaptation and reproduction. And second question which is arise in our mind is what is a living organism and how we can differentiate between living organism and non-living creatures. Okay, so a living organism is a self-replicating. Okay, so how you could define the living organism? A living organism is a self-replicating, evolving. Okay, this is very important characters. How you can differentiate from it with the non-living creatures. Okay, so this living organism will be differentiated by non-living by this characteristic. Okay, so see here, this is a self-replicating organism, evolving one, okay, and self-regulating interactive system capable of responding to external stimulants. Okay, like temperature, air and all that. Okay, so they will be respond to external stimulus. So this is all definition. You must be remember definition like this. You may be given a question that what is a living organism. So you must write in these sequences. If you list the properties or a characteristic of living organism, you can list out this like this. So first characteristic is the growth. Any living organism will grow. It will or they will reproduce. They will metabolize. Cellular organization will be found in that organisms. Consciousness. So these all are the characteristic or the properties of any living organisms. We will discuss one by one. So first of all, let me discuss about the characteristic of a living organism, in which we will explain about growth. Okay, so let me understand what is a growth. It is the increase in number. So you must be remember the definition here. Okay, so every time you must be remember the definition. Exactly you have to write in the examination. Okay, so what is a growth and what is the definition of growth? It is the increase in the number. Okay, and the mass of cells, not only a number but also a mass of cells by cell division. You know very well what is a cell division. You have already learned in chapter number 10. Okay, so let me repeat what is the growth. Growth is the increase in the number. As a result of growth, what will happen? A cell number will be increased, even cell size will be increased. So increase in number and mass of a cell is considered as a growth, and that will be fulfilled by cell division process. Let me explain more about growth. In a plant, if you're talking about plant, what is the meaning of growth over here? It is somehow different from the animals. So in a plant, if you are talking about plant, growth continuous. Okay, in the plant, if you are talking about plant, growth will be continuous throughout their lifespan. Okay, but if you are talking about animals, so it is somehow different from the plants. In animals, what is there? Growth is only up to certain age. It is not a lifetime process in case of an animal, whereas in this case, in case of a plant, it is a lifetime process. Okay, however, cell division occur to replace the lost cell. In both the cases, in animals also, in plants also, cell division occur to replace the lost cells. Let me discuss more about growth. So it is basically increase in a mass and a size as per the definition. Okay, generally it is an increase in the mass and the size, but every time you cannot say like this. Okay, so thus in non-living objects, you can say they will also show some type of growth. Okay, like you can see surface accumulation of a material. Okay, sometime what happens, these mountain height will be increased due to surface accumulation of materials. Okay, that we cannot consider it as a growth. So growth is not a defining property of any living organism. So you cannot say that any organism which shows growth are a living organism, because sometimes what happens, such like this is a mountain, you cannot consider this mountain as a living organism. Okay, but here also you can sometime observe a growth. Okay, sometime what happens, surface accumulation occur day by day, years after years. Okay, as a result of that, the height of a mountain may be increased. Okay, so you cannot say that this mountain is a living organism as they are growing. Okay, growing in the height. So growth is a not a defining property, means you cannot define the living organism on the basis of just growth. Okay, several other features are also must be looked after that. Okay, so growth is not a defining property of a living organism. In living organism, growth is from inside. So you must be remember this line is very important. So living organism shows growth from inside. Okay, whereas in this case where we are talking about mountain, if it is, so the growth or whatever the surface accumulation occur will be from outside. So living organism shows growth from the inside. Second character of a living organism or a properties of a living organism is a reproduction. Okay, so it is the production of a progeny or an offspring, okay, or a newborn having a feature similar to those of a parents. You know very well what is a reproduction. It is the production, means you have to define like this. It is the production of a progeny or an offspring having a feature similar to those of a parent. Not exactly similar, but somehow they will be similar to those of the parents. Okay, so organism reproduce asexually. You know very well how many type of reproduction. Two type of reproduction are there: asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. So organism reproduce by sexual means or asexual means. Suppose you are talking about unicellular organism. So what happen here? Some case is different in this case. Okay, so if you are talking about unicellular organism, a growth and reproduction both are interchangeably used. Okay, why? Because here you can see that just one cell is there. Okay, so if they grow, it will increase in number, but they will reproduce by this mean. So in a unicellular organism, growth and reproduction are same we can say, or because why this is same? Because they reproduce by cell division. Okay, so suppose unicellular, that is only one cell is there. Okay, if they divide into two, what happen is both daughter cell will be look as a individual cell or individual organism. Okay, so here we cannot say this is a growing. Okay, but they will reproduce. So growth and reproduction both are same in this case. This is in unicellular organism case because they reproduce by cell division. In some cases, reproduction may not occur. Like if you are talking about mole or if you are talking about worker honeybee, this is the case. Okay, they will never reproduce. So we cannot say this mole is a non-living or this worker honeybee is a non-living. Okay, so many organisms do not reproduce even. Okay, so this is the not a definite characteristic of any living organism. So many organisms do not reproduce even though they can be considered as a living organism. So this is the examples you can see: moles, okay, worker honeybees, infertile human couple. Sometimes human couples may also not giving birth to the child, or they may be infertile, so they do not consider that human being or a human couple that do not reproduce is a non-living. Okay, so hence reproduction is a not a perfect definition. If you are talking about living organism, it is not a perfect definition to define any living organism. So hence reproduction is not a perfect definition or property or defining property of a living organism. Next property or a characteristic of any living organism is a metabolism. So first of all, let me understand what is a metabolism. Suppose anybody having a food, okay, it will enter in the body, or especially inside the cell. Inside what happen, inside the gut or a intestinal tract or a cell, what happen, this larger molecule of a food will be break down into smaller molecule. Okay, and at that time what happen, at that time some amount of energy will be released. Okay, so this is called catabolic reactions. So larger molecule to smaller molecule, the reaction whatever happen is called catabolic pathway. And during catabolic pathway, some amount of energy and the heat will be released. Okay, in other hand, you can see some smaller molecule inside the cell will be form a large molecules, that is called macromolecules, from small to larger. Okay, so at that time some amount of heat and energy will be utilized. Okay, and such a process is called anabolic pathway. So you can see here from larger to small content. Okay, that is called catabolism. At that time what happen? Energy and heat will be liberated or released. Okay, in other hand, from smaller to larger, whatever the formation is occur, that is a macromolecular formation or a synthesis, that is called anabolic pathway, and during which heat and energy will be utilized. In both of these reaction together, means catabolic reactions and anabolic together, is called metabolism. So let me repeat, what is a metabolism? A metabolism is a sum between catabolic pathways and anabolic pathways. Means catabolic pathways and anabolic pathways together called metabolism, and this is a very important characteristic of any living organism. So it is the sum total of all biochemical reactions, okay, taking place inside the living organism. Why it is called biochemical reactions? Because chemical reaction, whatever chemical reaction occur inside the living organism is called biochemical reactions. Okay, so if the sum of a total of all biochemical reactions taking place inside the living organism or a system, that organism is considered as a living organism. It is the defining feature of any living organism. We can demonstrate any metabolic reactions outside the body in the cells-free systems. Okay, inside the laboratory, inside the test tubes and glasswares and all that. So metabolic reaction we can demonstrate inside the laboratory also in the cell-free system. Isolated metabolic reaction, and that is a cell-free system, is called in vitro system. Okay, whatever we do in the laboratory inside the glasswares like test tubes and all that, flasks and all that, that process is called in vitro. Okay, are not living things but are living reactions. Okay, so isolated metabolic reaction in vitro is not considered as a non-living one. Okay, they are not living things but are living reactions. Next property of a living organism is a cellular organization. You know very well, if a living organism is there, their body parts are made up of cells, whereas if it is a non-living one, a body parts is not made up of cells. This is main difference between living and non-living. Okay, so you know very well, you have already learned chapter number 8, so you know very well which type of cells are there. Mainly they are considered as a two types, eukaryotes and prokaryotes, and if you are dividing or classify the eukaryotic cell, it can be divided into two, plant cells and animal cells. Okay, so you have already learned and discussed in detail. Okay, so let me see what is the cellular organization. Organisms are made up of one or more cells. You know very well. Okay, so if organism is made up of only one cell, it is called unicellular organism. If more than one cells, it is considered as a multicellular organism. We are considered as a multicellular organism. And you know the example of a unicellular organism, and that is amoeba, paramecium, euglena like organisms. Okay, so it is a defining feature of any living organism. So you can define like this. Okay, so organisms are made up of one or more cells, then only they are considered as a living organisms, and that's why this is called as a defining feature of a living organism. Let me discuss about last characteristic of any living organism, and that is a consciousness. Okay, we have already discussed about growth, reproduction, metabolism, cellular organization. Okay, and now we are going to discuss about consciousness. So let me discuss what is the consciousness. It is the ability of organism to sense their environment. This is very important feature. Okay, we can sense the outer environment surrounding of our cell. Okay, so we can sense it. Okay, and accordingly we can respond also. So it is the ability of organism to sense their environment and respond to the environmental stimulants. Okay, so this characteristic you cannot observe in any non-living organisms, or we can say non-living creatures. Non-living is not considered as an organism, it is called non-living creatures. So you cannot observe these characteristics in non-living creatures. Okay, so we can respond towards the light, water, temperature, other organisms, okay, chemicals, pollutants. This is the ability to react surrounding the environment. Almost all organisms are aware of their surroundings, so it is the defining property of a living organism. So here there is no exceptional case. Almost all organisms are aware of their surroundings, and though it is considered as a defining property of any living organisms. And very interestingly, human is the only organism having self-consciousness. Okay, so we are very highly developed organisms, and that's why we have self-consciousness. So today is no homework. And before we finish this lecture, let me summarize all topic by using one animation video. So look at this video. In next lecture, we will learn very interesting topic, and that is diversity in the living world. So till that, goodbye.